Russia is making more provocative moves in Europe as the U.S. attempts to reassure its allies in the region. Estonia, which is a member of NATO, is protesting what it calls an extremely serious violation of its airspace by a Russian helicopter, as well as simulated missile strikes by Russian troops on its territory. At the same time, Ukrainian forces are reportedly striking Russian positions on a contested island in the Black Sea, and multiple explosions have been reported in Kharkiv as Russia continues its assault on eastern Ukraine. So we want to bring in foreign correspondent Tom Soufi Burridge. He is live in Kyiv, Ukraine, with more. Tom, let's start with those moves by Russia near Estonia. Just how provocative is this with these simulated missile strikes on NATO territory?
Trevor, given the war here in Ukraine, it's highly significant, any breach by the Russian military of the airspace of any NATO state right now. Remember, those Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, sit in the northeastern corner of Europe. They're former Soviet states. They joined NATO in 2004, a move which greatly angered Vladimir Putin and people close to him. Now, you know, on the one hand, that Russian helicopter reportedly only entered Estonian airspace for a matter of 2 minutes at the weekend. And in normal times, that type of thing could go largely unnoticed in the media. But given the tension, given the fact that NATO member states are arming and supporting Ukraine in its war against Russia, in its defense of this territory, it is highly significant. And that's why you're seeing very, very tough rhetoric from the Estonians within the last 24 hours, saying the threat from Russia is as serious as it's ever been.
Tom, I can't help but notice behind you, I mean, we have what appear to be tanks, people climbing over them, taking pictures. It's a reassuring image there in Kyiv, but we can't forget that this war is certainly still ongoing. So I want to ask about regional authorities who say Russia is actually in control of almost the entire Luhansk region in eastern Ukraine. What's the latest on the fighting that's going on there?
Yeah, Trevor, I mean, the calm here is quite sort of noticeable in the center of Kyiv. It hasn't ever been hit. But around the country, we're seeing Russia striking within the last 24 hours again and again, killing civilians in cities like Mykolaiv down in the south, and up in the northeast, the second biggest city of Kharkiv. It's been hit extensively within the last couple of weeks by the Russians, many civilians reportedly being killed. And in the east, Donbass, that's where the main fighting is still going on. And I think if we step back from the day-to-day, it's worth just pointing out to people that within the last 3 weeks or so, according to Western officials on a briefing I was on earlier in the week, Russia has not really made any significant gains there since the beginning of June. Now, so on the one hand, the Ukrainians are holding the Russians back to a large extent, even though the Russians have a massive advantage in firepower and in the numbers of troops. But on the other hand, the Russians are making incremental gains. Slowly, they are taking territory. And the critical question, I think, is whether or not Vladimir Putin will stop if, in the short term, he is able to take the whole of eastern Ukraine, the whole of the Donbass. I think most analysts believe no, he might pause. But the indications from Moscow over the last few months have been really that Russia wants to take much more of Ukraine.
That is alarming to hear. Tom Soufi Burridge for us in Kyiv. Tom, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.